Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer, and I go around and I teach sales organizations and leadership teams how to grow trust and influence with their customers and their team members to generate more revenue and higher profits. Today, let's focus in on the so-called sales manager. Now, people often say, hey, I want to be the best sales manager. Well, I want to stop you right there. If we're only focusing on ourselves, we're not going anywhere. Now, if we want to focus on our teams, now we're going to go somewhere. So, managers are typically people who manage people and processes. Mainly, you're kind of keeping everything going this way. What we need to be doing is growing, right? We need to increase. We need to add value. That's why I think the term should be sales leader, not sales manager. When you're managing, you're just kind of keeping things going. You want to grow things. You want to grow your people, your team, right? That's how you're going to grow your revenue and your profits. So let's be sales leaders. Now, you can go to the HR department, try to set that term, but probably not going to happen. But we can focus in on changing the script of our own minds and focus on being a leader. And here's how we can do it. We need to constantly be focused on how we can add value to our teams consistently. How do we do that? I know we have weekly meetings. We have constant interactions with our team members, phone calls. How is it we can do on a regular to add value and invest in our teams? Well, here's how we can do that. We need to be focusing on growing them all the time. And I say this all the time when anybody calls me from a sales organization. You should at least be doing one off-site sales training every year. That's right. You need to be bringing somebody else in that gives you a different perspective on the sales so that way we can learn something new. And here's the funny thing. When I started in sales, the sales owner of the company, he actually was probably the best salesperson I've ever met. And he would tell us all these great things. But he would bring in sales trainers and they'd often have the same message. And it clicked with our guys when we were in those trainings because typically we learn after repetition. Well, he would pay these guys, they'd come in, they'd say a lot of the same things, and our team would go, wow, that was so impactful, and we learned a lot. And then we grew, right? And our sales actually went up, and he would sit there, scratch his head, and go, why can't they just listen to me? Well, a lot of times people don't want to just listen to one person. They want to have different perspectives. And that's what these trainers do. They bring in more tools and different perspectives to help our teams. So once a year, we should be investing in our teams to do one off-site. We need to budget for it so that way we can do this and add value to our teams. Okay? We also need to go through this training and then do a debrief. Now, the most elite people out there, the Navy SEALs, they actually do debriefs after every mission and after every training. They want to know the best practices, how they can improve, how they got bogged down, how they can do things better. We need to be doing that in our teams. So after our training, we need to do a debrief. And then we're also going to find out different perspectives from different team members. It's going to be impactful. People are going to go, wow, I didn't really think about that, or I didn't catch that in the training, but this person did. And that clicks now. So having a debrief will actually add a lot of value to the team. So basically, if you're going to do a half-day training, make sure the other half is the debrief with the team so that way they're going over best practices together and we can figure out what one or two things we can implement into our sales process for the next term. By doing that, we're going to grow our sales. It happens. It's been recorded. Go check it out. Now, here's the other thing that we need to be doing. We need to hold the people back, and we need to be doing some competitive training. And when I first started in sales, that's something that we did often. We actually brought in everybody, and we held them back like a day after the training, and we would go over the competition. We'd study the competition, what products they're offering, what new products they're offering, how they're selling their products and services against us, so that way we can navigate how to sell against them. And the best way to learn is to actually teach. So having each person pick a competitor or a competitor's product set and actually teach against it will help the whole team, and especially that person who's teaching at that time. And people will go through and have their own commentary. They'll have some, this kind of objection. Again, just like sharpening a knife, when you use a harder metal, iron sharpens iron. We're going to sharpen each other's skills and learn together by doing this. So we need to make sure we're following up the training with some competitor analysis. So that way we're growing together. Because people, especially salespeople, most are remote. They don't have time to sit around each other all the time. So having these annual times where they can come together and hang out and meet each other, build camaraderie, they're going to build bonds. They'll start calling each other on specific things. And that is pretty huge when they have these bonds because they're going to help each other. Now, we've done the training once a year. We also need to supplement that with reading books. Yeah, I know it's boring. Maybe just do podcasts. But we need to be focused in on learning. And see, I've been doing about 12 books a year for the past decade. And I read 10 pages a day. And in a month, you can do about 300 pages. Most business books are less than 300 pages. So I can do 12 books a year. If you're starting out with your group, maybe you go and do one a quarter. But every sales meeting that you guys have, whether it's a phone in or everybody's meeting together, we should be discussing for about 5 to 10 minutes what the content was for that previous week that we read. So that way, we're still growing. Again, as a leader, you need to constantly be adding value. By doing that, you're going to grow your team. And yeah, some will go and take on different roles. They get promoted. But people will take notice when all these people are starting to grow and move from your position under you to other positions of leadership. And they're going, wow, these guys are rock stars. Where'd they come from? What's the commonality here? They're going to learn that it was you by adding all this value. So be focused in on it. Don't look for immediate success and all the rewards and the glamour. Focus in on investing and growing your people. Because it's kind of like compound interest when you're investing, right? Keep putting money in and then the interest grows and it compounds over time until it starts running away and you start making a lot more money faster. That's what we're doing. We're adding value over time. It will compound and will grow. Okay? Now here's the other thing. People don't quit their organization. They quit their boss. So if we're just a manager, we'll probably manage them right out of our organization and we'll have to bring somebody else in and train them up. And there's just a lot of cost there. So if we continue to invest in our teams, they'll stay for the long haul. They'll see the value and they want to keep growing with us. So if we keep adding value, we'll have stronger teams and we won't have higher costs and be slower. We'll actually be faster. Wouldn't you want that? All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is below. If you like this video, hit like, share, subscribe. Send it to somebody you think it's going to benefit. And if you're a salesperson and you want to send it to your manager, make sure you put in a nice note there, okay? We don't want to tick them off. See you next time.